So employers need to make sure that when they're instructing employees on how to set up a ladder, when they're training them on how to use a ladder, that they are training first and foremost to the manufacturer's instructions. The manufacturer knows how the ladder is designed to be used, what it is intended to be used for, and they need to be following those instructions. But generally, we want to make sure that the ground conditions are satisfactory to support the load, which is why we have rules that say you can't set ladders up on top of boxes or barrels, that sort of stuff. If it's going to be set up in outdoor situations, that the ground is firm enough, that it is level. So the foundation where you're setting up the ladder is appropriate. Next, we'd want to make sure that the location where the ladder is being set up is appropriate. So we'd always want to look overhead, make sure that there is no electrical hazards while we're setting up the ladder or where the ladder is going to be used. We'd want to make sure that the ladder is in a safe location. So a ladder that is set up in front of a doorway, and once the employee goes up on that ladder, they're trusting that no one is going to open that door and knock them off or displace them off of the ladder. So forethought needs to be put into the actual placement of the ladder. How do we block or barricade or lock that door, or post another employee in front of that door, instructing people that the door is not available for use until the person is off of the ladder. We're always going to look at non-self-supporting ladders to make sure that the ladder is set up in the correct angle to make sure that the ladder can properly support the person who is on it. And then anytime a ladder is used to gain access to a higher level, part of that setup is to make sure that the ladder is sufficiently long enough that the ladder extends a minimum of 3 feet above the point where the employee is going to be stepping off of the ladder onto the upper structure. Oftentimes, securing the ladder to prevent movement when the employee is stepping off of the ladder needs to be taken into consideration there also. So those are just a few things that an employer should think about when they're setting up the ladder, but ultimately they're going to follow the manufacturer's instructions for ladder usage.
You know, a lot of guys don't know what the calculation is for a ladder, 1 to 4. So for every 4 feet it goes up, you have to be 1 foot back. How to check that, because if it's too steep, you'll tip back. If it's too flat, it'll kick out. So you see a lot of guys that just don't understand that, just throw a ladder up. And once they throw a ladder up, they think, I'm good. They don't tie their ladder off. Okay, a lot of people think, I just have to tie it off at the top. A lot of times, no. If you're near a hole or a garbage chute or anything like that, you need to secure the bottom feet too, because if it kicks out, that's just to make sure it doesn't slide. They have straps and everything now that you can just go around the bottom rung and go back in. So that's, those are the major things you see. You got to think about it this way. Here's how the fall works. Okay, you put an extension ladder up to the roof. Okay, you have a foot on a movable object. Then you got a foot on a non-movable object, the roof or the platform. You're going to push off the movable object with the foot, and what's going to move? The movable object. And that's because you didn't tie your ladder off before you got out and it kicked out sideways on you. So those are the mistakes we see a lot of times. The other mistake is, in order for you to exit a ladder to get on a platform or any kind of roof or anything, you have to be at least 3 feet above the surface with your ladder. 3 rungs.